In this video, we're gonna learn the badminton footwork secret that nobody tells you with Olympian Toby Ng. What you're gonna teach us today is the secret of how to have efficient footwork. And we're gonna break it down into a couple steps, right? Step one, you said was biomechanics.
Biomechanics.
Can you quickly explain what biomechanics means?
You want to make sure your feet are positioned in the right way, which will optimize your movement. Stand kind of as wide as you can.
Okay.
So then from here, just lean to one of the sides.
Okay.
But try and bend your knee. We actually now get into a lateral lunge.
Okay.
This is actually a very good way to look at how to push, because a lot of footwork in badminton is actually a lot of lateral movement.
I see.
If I tried to push you from the side, your stability would be better.
Harder to push.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we move to the corners for our footwork, it's actually better to start with that lateral push.
Right.
In a way that you can have that stability and you can move back or forward.
If anything,
faster.
all of badminton footwork is lateral. We're never moving. What is this?
Forward and front and back, yeah.
What is this? We're always moving sideways, right?
Yes, so it's a lot of turning, and then how we want to use that to help push to the corners is also going to be what we'll add on later on.
So this first step is about biomechanics, and now that we identify lateral movement is what we're aiming for, then isn't it so easy to check in every corner?
If we, let's say, go from the one end to,
Here?
let's say, the front here, and we just do a very casual side shuffle exercise, right? You'll notice that your feet actually naturally point out.
Okay. And what happens if I don't point them out? Like, what do people do? Point it in?
I would try and point them toward wherever you're facing.
Okay.
Right? Because in this kind of position, you can now start to use your glutes more.
If it's pointing forwards?
Yes, because when you're pushing, then now you're using your glutes. If you turn out, a lot of it is quad dominant. So you're using too much quadricep. So a lot of times in badminton, people are like, oh, I'm using too much quad. But it's also because a lot of people are too turned out.
Right.
So in this kind of position, you can actually push and you can actually cut and change directions.
So we have to find a way to, how can we spread out muscle usage?
Yes, so you can now hopefully distribute the quads and then your glutes a little bit more, which is why you want to do squats, but you also want to do deadlifts. Again, it's something that actually isn't very natural for a lot of people, especially if you're used to kind of just moving a certain way.
Can I point out why I think it's not natural for me? I think I have a flexibility limitation here. The reason when I have to go out like this is if I were to bring my toes in and squat, this is my limit. Whereas if I open it, I can go lower.
Right, so again, this is why biomechanics is important, because you're still thinking, I want to squat.
Yes.
In this position, it should be a hinge. So the difference really is that instead of bending down and going up and down this way, I'm actually coming more front and back. So from this position, it's actually much more stable. So this is kind of the position if you were to do a vertical jump. Right? I would actually bend at the hips and my body would come forward, same as a deadlift, right? Versus coming down here and then trying to jump straight up.
So I should just find the position where I'm most balanced.
Yeah, I would say think more balancing your hips back and then your body forward will give you a different sense of balance this way instead of the upright balance this way.
It's an entire, like if I were to stick a rod down my entire body.
So you'd actually be probably angled
kind of like this.
Straight
so
up.
this feels balanced to me right now.
So give it a try and see if it...
So I'm focusing on just staying balanced.
Okay, so still a little bit turned out. So we can make this a little easier. So for people that want to try it and they're still having trouble, one of my favorite exercises, some players actually do it. They have the band around the sides and then they basically just do the stepping, right? So what we can do is like, instead we want to really work on that lateral lunge position. And we want to think of, we're trying to push something. So we're pushing off the back foot and then moving. Moving.
Push.
Good.
Push.
Yes.
Push. I'm breaking the door.
So really think of using your hip. So you're still opening up, right? You don't want to bang your knee. You want to use your body. Think of pushing it this way.
Right. So in summary, the ultimate goal of this is just to figure out how can we have the most efficient lateral movement.
Yes. So again, if you take this from different sports like football, soccer, and you're running, this is actually the same movement as when you cut. So I run a certain way and I cut, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Right? No one ever does this in this kind of case. So I run this way, I'm cutting, right? So this will help with footwork. If you lose direction, or you want to lose balance, you can actually catch yourself and then you can come and recover.
Okay, I think this makes a lot of sense. I'm curious to see how to apply it with everything else later.
Yes.
Let's move on. This is a lot for just step one. All right, so step number 2 is what?
The split step.
Could you tell me what the split step is?
The split step is a movement that will help you move. In this kind of case, you have 2 primary corners. So whichever direction you're splitting, you're gonna be favored to go to those.
Okay, could you show me?
2 sides.
What do you mean?
So if I want to go to, let's say, between these 2, right? I would split in this, and I'd be good to go this way, right? So if I want to split more and go this way, I'd probably split this way and use that to push, right? This is actually where the lateral lunge becomes important now, right? So from splitting here, then I can come to the other side.
So the split step is to help you enter your lateral movement.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So what the split step is really doing is, 1, helping you enter your lateral position by changing your direction to the correct position.
Yes, but you basically are covering 2 sides. So the split is if you're not really sure. At least you have 2 corners covered.
Okay.
Whereas if you know it's going to 1, you might as well just push off the back foot. Question a lot of people have is then when do you split step?
Okay, when do we split step? That's a great question.
So you have to technically split after the opponent hits the shuttle. You have to know where the shuttle is going.
Okay.
If you split too early, that means you just split again later. It's very different for different people because some people might react better or they might sense or better guess based on how they're swinging.
Yes.
Right? So then they can seemingly move faster. So the timing will be different for different people.
Okay.
Right? It's best to just wait till the shuttle is hit because once it leaves the racket, it can't change.
Right. So how I should think of it is just, I'm using the split step after they hit to enter my lateral movement. Well,
sure.
Okay, so for example, let's say it's this side. Okay.
Let's say I go over here.
That's my lateral movement.
We can make it even easier to start, right? So if you're here, right? So let's say you know the shuttle is going here.
Yes.
Right? You might as well just lunge to the right, right? And then just push off your left.
Okay.
Right? So from here, you can just drop, right? Drop, and then push. So it's quite fast. So that's the thing is, if you go wider, you can actually, depends on where your position is now, right?
Okay.
So if I know it's going there, I might as well drop here instead of going this way to go that way, right? So from this position, if I drop, I'm actually gonna split more from this way, and I'm already closer here, and I can push. So a lot of people make this mistake where they still push here, or they still go wide, even though they know they have to go there. That means your first step is going to be farther away from the side. So from here, see if you can just just push off the left foot. Right? So if you're in a wide enough position, you can lean and then just push, right? Push.
Am I not doing it correctly? I'm wide enough position, right? Just push?
Yeah, so it should feel actually faster.
Okay, so if let's say this way,
then
I'm leaning here.
Yeah, and then push.
And then push.
Yes.
Okay, so how do I remember to do this later? Because this is such an active thought.
Again, it will come with practice, but it's like if you can, imagine if you had a wall behind you, right? It would always be nice to kind of like push against the wall, give you that acceleration, right? So we don't have a wall. So the next best thing is, can we push off the floor, right? So the wider we are or the lower we are, and when we push, right? It'll be a lot easier than, let's say, if we're upright. Because if we're upright, when we push it, we're gonna want to go up.
And one thing that seems to really help with this is you have to anticipate the shot.
We'll cover that in the next point.
If you guys are enjoying how much knowledge we're absolutely giving you here, it's crazy. You're not gonna find this anywhere else. All that we ask is you like, comment, and subscribe, and support our channel by potentially joining our YouTube memberships. Okay, step number 3 is what?
Directional split stepping.
Okay.
So try this with a 2-corner drill.
Okay.
So what we'll do is actually we'll have you hit to the front, right? And I'm gonna make you hit to the 2 diagonal corners only. And then you'll see, like, if you're standing in this position, it's actually quite comfortable.
Right.
So let's give it a shot.
Okay.
So ideally, how would you stand then?
Well, if I know it's gonna be these 2, and I always turn backhand, then I'm gonna stand like this.
Right, so if you stand a little bit more this way, would that maybe give you more of a chance to hit around the head?
If I stand this way?
Yeah.
If I wanna hit around the head, I would stand, pretty similar like this.
Right, but if you stand straight, then you're gonna have to turn more.
Yes, actually, you know what? This is one of my big problems. If you watched me play before, we have some footage. I never turn laterally. I'm always open like this when I turn overhead.
Yeah, so from here you can push and then we'll give it a try, right?
Okay, so am I turning overhead?
Up to you. You can use backhand, but just the 2 corners. Random, right?
Sorry.
Try around the head. Oh, that was easy. Try again.
Oh, this is so much easier. Whoops, messed that up. That is so much easier, wow. So stupid, no one taught me this. My movement thought is that in order to help me remember the lateral movement, what I'm actually doing is pre-anticipating a bit. So I hit the shot, I think you're going to hit over here, so I'm forcing myself to actually do this a little bit, so I enter my lateral movement.
Yes.
Yes.
And then it just depends on like, you'll have that first push and then you can kind of sense and decide as you're moving, it's like, can I turn or do I not have enough time?
Right, okay. Step number 4 is what?
I call it kind of like a floating step, which I'll just demo, right? So sometimes after I go to a certain side, right, I can kind of wait here and then I can actually push again. So you can see I'm actually pushing twice instead of kind of coming back, set, and then going again. Right? So from here, right, I can split and then. So this is actually how a lot of the pros probably move.
Yes.
I can't say for sure, but
I don't think they think about it.
Yeah, because you can practice it all the time and it's fine. I can move to the corner. Let's say I push, right? Then I'm here and then I'm waiting, right? So I want to wait here before I go to another corner. So this is kind of where the directional split will be useful. So I want to go here, then from this position, I can split. So you notice that if I come from here, I can split and start the actual step from here. So I'm actually saving a bit of distance. Versus most people will be doing this, and they'll split this way because it's in the middle. That's what they're always taught. And now I'm a little bit short going to the corner. So then a lot of people will be like, footwork maybe to here, versus if you use the whole directional.
So you know what this thought is? Originally, or I think, I never actually thought about this a lot, but I think how most people teach it and learn it is that they think the split is to always initiate. But that is only at the beginning of the rally. During the rally, the split is to link your footwork.
So it's important to link different corners, and that's the best way to practice directional split stepping.
I think the simplest way to think about this is that, well, when we start the rally, we do our splits, but during the rally, we don't actually have to think about the floating step. All we have to think about is how are we connecting our footwork with the split in between and never stopping. Stopping is when we're not connecting. Let me see if I can do this.
Sure.
Okay, so I guess you'll point?
Yeah, so I'll point, and then so again, I'll try and point a little bit
ahead of time?
Later.
Yes.
Right? But don't think you have to split right when I point.
Got it.
I give you a moment.
Focus here, I'll focus on one thing just, is how to link all my footwork so I don't stop in the middle.
Okay, let's give it a try. Ready?
Right?
Go. Good. And then, good. There you go. Good.
Wow, this is a masterclass, guys. I didn't even know this. That's why my footwork's so inefficient. I'm just working hard.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, is footwork technical or is it a physical thing?
What? You're asking good questions here. Is footwork technical or physical thing? Well, what is footwork? Define footwork.
Footwork, let's say, is how you move to the corners, right?
Okay.
So why do we learn a certain sequence of steps instead of just running as fast as we can?
Because it's the best way to move?
Right, so then it becomes technical, right?
Sure.
So then you want to make sure the technical part is pristine. And if you're just kind of moving as fast as you can with maybe the proper technique, then you've turned it into a physical thing.
Yes.
And now you're training different elements.
Makes sense. Is there one more step? I feel like this is pretty...
There's one more, which is more advanced, but those of you that kind of get deceived a lot will appreciate it.
Okay, what is it?
So let's say you think it's going to the back, right? But then they hit to the front. Then you're like, oh, I couldn't get it. But if you want to make your legs a bit stronger or get used to losing your balance, put the weight on the back foot first.
Okay.
And then use the weight transfer. So I want to go forward. I'm going to come back here and then transfer. Go back here and then go here.
Wait, why do we want to do this?
So let's say you think it's going to the back, right? But then they hit to the front. Then you're like, oh, it's at the front. I can change directions. I can save the rally.
Right. So you're saying we should practice going in the wrong direction?
Yeah, so you're basically practicing loading the leg and then trying to really push. So this one will build up the leg muscles, will help with your footwork. And then also in a game situation will help you save yourself from deception.
So I think I can try this by, you can point one direction and before I go in that direction, I load the other direction first and then go. Like I fake myself out.
I can show you if you want.
Sure, show me. Okay. I feel like this is a drill you just kind of do slower to get it into your thought.
Yeah, so you can think of doing slower footwork, but it's actually more technical, right? So I just do whatever footwork and then just add in that extra load on the other side.
Let me give it a try.
Good. Yeah, good.
Oh shit.
Good. So again, like it will be kind of hard on the legs at first, so don't kind of kill yourself. Think technical first. Right. And then once you practice it, you can build on top of that, no problem.
Okay, Toby, now for the hardest part. How do we put it all together? How can you get me to do this using single bird right away, which is a lot faster? So instead of doing it slow and putting it all together, what is one thought I should have that will naturally make me put it all together?
You just have to have a good feeder. So if you have enough time, then you can actually practice.
Okay, should we give it a try?
Sure. You really should do those around the heads.
What?
Around the heads.
Around the head? It's not really my thing.
Like try go for around the head and then if you can't, then use backhand, right? But it should be around the head first. Not too early. Yeah, relax, relax.
My legs are dying.
There.
Proper footwork is a burn on the legs.
It starts that way, but then like again, start easy, right? So even like this, then take a break. Once you kind of feel good, then try again. Oh.
So my biggest takeaway from all of this, or my badminton thought, is two things. Number one is, don't move until I'm sure where it's gonna go. Number two is, once I do know where to go, get into my best lateral position to move there easily.
Yeah, so again, you might feel late, but that's why we need that push to really give you that acceleration, and then you should get there okay.
Yeah, because one thing I did before my footwork is I often have to do these secondary footworks. But so, doing this, it doesn't happen that much, and it's a bit wrong. All right, good video, guys. If you guys enjoy this video and all the information you're getting access to, then please support our channel by joining our YouTube memberships. You get members-only videos, you get access to our private Discord, and giveaways, so many more. So we'll see you soon.